man, you cross sisters, y'all really getting it together. And I support it. But anyway, he got canceled or whatever. So then they went on, and what they do every time. Every time you see a black person eating humble pie at that level, a multimillionaire, they've hired more than likely than not, a white public relations firm or disaster artist. And then so they came out and was like, oh, we were and then this is how rich black people apologize to the black masses. Y'all niggas, I'm sorry y'all niggas don't have enough sense to understand what I was really saying. That's how they apologize to us. Remember when Nicki Minaj put Malcolm X on her album cover? That iconic photo of Malcolm X with the machine gun peeping out the window because the Nation of Islam was trying to murder him at the behest of the government and COINTELPRO, and the Nation of Islam had firebombed his house, trying to throw a gas bomb into the room of his daughters and tried to murder Malcolm X, the same Nation of Islam that tries to pretend to say we gave y'all Malcolm X, when Malcolm X was articulating insights and organizing well beyond. In fact, they didn't give us Malcolm X, they stifled. But remember that picture? Well, she put that picture on the album cover and called the album Looking Ass Niggas. And black folks was like, you calling Malcolm a nigga? But whether you're doing that or not, how dare you use any of his imagery? But I mean, this isn't even your space, your arena. What are you doing? And she was like, I'm sorry. Oh, I got to issue an apology. I'm sorry y'all niggas didn't understand what I was trying to say. But then she made a video, I think with Future or Bruno Mars, but she made a picture that was like a sci-fi video. And she had like this totalitarian society. And they were like fighting against, long story short, the villains in her rap video were dressed like, some people say, Nazis. And they look like the Luftwaffe and the SS guard of the Nazi party. And they're all standing in formation and goose stepping. And the ADL and other segments of the Jewish community came up and said, we're offended by this. We don't want our rappers, our property, to be out here promoting Nazi imagery to the black masses. It's forbidden. And Nicki Minaj, go back and look, it's all over the internet. Look at how Nicki Minaj responded. How Nicki Minaj responded and apologized to the Jewish community versus how she apologized to the black community. It's the same thing with Ricky Smiley. And so they started saying, oh, we love black women. Y'all don't even know what y'all talking about. My mama black. And they started talking all this rhetoric. And the bottom line is when they got on, they left the community for a white girl. Well, I mean, you can't, his son. But then there's another story that I've spoken about before here, which really surprised me. I mean, I can just run down these stories of all these successful black people, millionaires, and that are embedded in anti-blackness. And Ricky Smiley and Mike Tyson will both tell you, we're proud black people. I love my black people. Mike Tyson got an Arthur Ashe tattoo. You know, Mike Tyson was always, every time he got in the ring and knocked somebody out, we felt like, it was a demonstration of black power. Ricky Smiley, coming out of Atlanta, he was all over BET. He was the black entertainer on the Chitlin circuit. Scarface of the Ghetto Boys was being interviewed on Ed Lover Show. And he said that all of his offspring are married to white people. And then all of their children, his grandchildren, all live a white world and the white life. And Scarface said to Dr. Dre, I tried to look up the quote, but Dr. Dre's got a lot of stuff out there. So it was a Sirius, Dr. Dre has a Sirius XM channel, satellite radio. And when I bought my car, it came with a free 1-year subscription. This is like 5 years ago. It came with a free 1-year subscription to Sirius. So I ain't about to pay for no damn radio, but I had a year and so I used to listen to Dr. Dre's, I used to listen to Ed Lover's radio show, and it was a really, really, really excellent. Shout out to Dr. Dre. I mean, if you are an old school hip hop head, I'm telling you that. I mean, Ed Lover's show is great. But anyway, Ed Lover had died, and I'm just going about my business. And he's interviewing Scarface, and I really, really, even though Willie D is the best ghetto boy, fight me, don't at me. Willie D is the greatest ghetto boy of all time. Rest in peace to Bushwick. And shout out to Scarface. But Willie, if you ain't right, like I said, you can tell a lot about sisters. If you want to hook up with a brother, ask him who's his favorite ghetto boy. And that'll tell you a lot about him. Willie D. If he says Willie D, then you got, put a ring on it. Anyway, I continue to digress. Scarface said that he could imagine in 4 or 5 generations, he said his family will be completely white. And he imagined that he could foresee a scenario where his picture would be up over the mantle. And his great-grandchildren or great-great-grandchildren will turn to his great-grandchildren and say, Papa, Mama, who's that Negro on the wall? And they would say, that's your great-great-great-great-grandfather. Because he said in about 2 more generations, my family is going to be completely white. My family is going to be completely white. Because I've already got 2 generations. 1 generation that's all with white people, and I got another generation after that, even though they're not old enough to marry and procreate, their whole identity and their whole lifestyle, their entire environment is white. And Scarface, Brad Jordan, Action, whatever you want to, he's got many names. He fought like hell to bring about that scenario. And Ed Lover laughed like it was a joke. I'm like, man, okay. And Scarface was like, he wasn't like, I'm not joking, like this is my reality. And now some of y'all thinking, well, he's black. He's a dark-skinned black man. And even if the black is dominant, remember people ran around telling us about how black is dominant, how black DNA and black womb and black, what they call it, genetic annihilation. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing talk about genetic annihilation because of the dominant black seed. And I bless Dr. Frances Cress Welsing heart. She wasn't completely accurate on that. And you don't have to believe me. And another guy, another mega successful, one of the greatest, wealthiest black entertainers of all time, most influential black men in the modern era, Michael Jordan. Just go Google image Marcus Jordan, the son of Michael Jordan. Just Google image and go through. And need I say more about this achievement, black achievement, folding into anti-blackness? And if you really believe black is dominant, the black dominant gene, go look up Diana Ross grandchildren, or Eartha Kitt grandchildren, or go look up what's his name, James Earl Jones' son. And these people have literally demobliged their whole lineage. So you got all these black people who didn't just become mega successful. They came mega hyper successful while embedded in blackness. I'm like Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas don't want nothing to do with black people. He don't want nothing to do with black culture. I mean, he probably don't even see. He prefers baked skinless chicken over fried chicken. What? Clarence Thomas is way over there. He don't darken our doorstep. He left the community and never looked back. That's one type of blackness. But you got black people that are synonymous with blackness. Jordans, Mike Tyson, Ghetto Boys, that are fully synonymous with blackness. And it ain't just that. It ain't just successful apolitical. Look at the child of Khalid Abdul Muhammad. Look at Khalid Abdul Muhammad's son. The Apple